1987 Hunter Dusi Canoe Marathon between Pietermaritzburg and Durban. Despite recent heavy rains, the water level was not as high as the paddlers had hoped. Intimate river knowledge and paddling skill will make the difference between winning or losing, finishing or succumbing to the hazards of the Dusi. Pioneer of this race, Ian Player, is on the bank at the start to set the paddlers off on their 120-kilometre journey to the coast. Winner in 1985, John Edmonds, is once again favoured by many to win.
My running time's a bit at the moment. I'm going quite fast. I haven't done a lot of training, so my stamina may be a bit suspect, but my speed's all right. So we'll have to see what happens as the distance carries on.
The Dusi King, Graham Popelis, is hoping for his 13th win.
I think John would have been at a lot more advantage if the river was full, because he's a lot faster than most of us, both paddling and running. Particularly with running at the moment, his time trials are minutes faster than any other canoeist at the moment. So with being able to do the portages faster than us, and then a full river gives us less time in which to catch him in, he'll be in a much better advantage. But today, he'll still be very, very good and very hard to beat. My money's on him. I think he's got a good chance of winning, but it will make it that much harder today with the river being a little bit lower.
Andre Harden, making a comeback in the singles, reflects on his option at the Commercial Road Weir.
Well, it's very, very hard to say. So much depends on the position you're in when you get to the weir, if you can get to the right spot on the weir, but I'm probably very tempted to shoot it.
Greg, with the level as it is, will you be shooting any weirs today?
Wesley, I practiced it last night, but at this level today I think it's a little bit low. You need that extra 6 inches that we lost overnight. But I might still do it. We'll see how it goes once we get to the bundle.
6 o'clock and they're under starters' orders.
The 1987 Dusi Canoe Marathon, a great start here by Bruce Wenker, Mike Tocknell, John Evans in the middle, Andre Harwood and Graham Popelis on the outside. The race to the weir. Let's see who gets the weir first.
People line the banks at Commercial Road Weir, including the boarders from Merchiston School. First to the weir is Mark Jamieson. He has decided to take the risk and shoot the weir. John Edmonds almost falls out, and Andre Harden gets stuck on the weir. The decision to gain 30 seconds and shoot the weir costs Mark Jamieson very severely. The damage to his boat will force him to retire. Others do not take the risk and portage the weir. Graham Popelis in pursuit of his crown. Veteran Roy Swingerwood takes an early dip. John Edmonds is first to low-level bridge and removes his splash cover for the long portage ahead. Second is Mike Tocknell, with Richard Starr third. A few positions behind, Popelis takes out, while Colin Simpkins decides to go over the low-level bridge and almost makes it. Matt Carlisle ramps up alongside and scrapes over. On the Bishop's Toe Hill, John Edmonds, running at an incredible rate of under 4 minutes per kilometre, has established a 1.5-minute lead. 39-year-old Graham Popelis, who likes to conserve his energy in the early stages, shows the strain on the 2-kilometre hill. Former South African whitewater champion Rory Pennyfather in an uncharacteristic pose. Bruce Venker runs alongside Pennyfather. Here, Mike Tocknell receives some welcome attention from his second. At Bishop's Toe Hill, John Edmonds leaves the road and sets off towards Campbell's Farm. he has increased his lead by another minute. Graham Pope Ellis is now 2.5 minutes behind. His wife Wendy gives him a little sponge. The Bishop's Toe portage is 9 kilometers long and takes the paddlers up to the Campbell's Farm checkpoint, avoiding the meandering sections of the Dusi which are not navigable. After setting a new record to the Campbell's Farm checkpoint, John Edmonds is preceded by Mark Jamieson, now out of the race, who demonstrates the camaraderie of the Dusi by seconding John.
John, take this bottle, eh? Okay, Mark, I'll take the bottle. Okay.
The first rapid after Campbell's checkpoint is known as Teguan Rapid, and at this stage, Pope Ellis is still 1.5 minutes behind Edmonds. Chips St. Ledger, always up in the top 10 at the finish line, promises another good performance. He is followed by Rory Pennyfather, a Springbok whitewater and long-distance paddler. Behind Pennyfather is Bruce Venker and Mike Tocknell. Their race is for 3rd place. The leading lady is Marlene Boshoff, and she shows her ability in Teguan Rapid. There might be 100 men ahead of her, but there are nearly 1,000 behind. For others, Teguan Rapid is not as easy.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working, that's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. The little faggot with the earring and the makeup. Yeah, buddy, that's his own affair. The little faggot got his own jet airplane. The little faggot, he's a millionaire. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs.
At the halfway point, John Edmonds walks a few paces while he drinks. He has taken another precious 30 seconds out of Graham Pope Ellis, giving him a 3-minute lead. Back in the water, John Edmonds negotiates the Mission Rapid. Back in the water, John Edmonds negotiates the Mission Rapid. Pope Ellis has taken back 30 seconds on the water. Conserving energy in the early stages is paying dividends. kilometre from the end of the first stage, John Edmonds shoots the Dusi Bridge weir. Pope Ellis approaches the weir cautiously.
Give him a big hand, ladies and gentlemen. He's worked hard, he's young, racing rich. Number 2A, Johnny Edmonds.
Well, the lead fluctuated. I made a few mistakes, and Graham made one or two, or I thought two errors at the time. They could have been good decisions. At Hole in the Wall, I decided to portage, and Graham paddled. I actually gained some time there, a minute and a half, perhaps 2 minutes. But there again, I should have gained a little more time. I got stuck in some reeds and jumped out into chest-deep water, and then my boat was stuck under the reeds, and I had to pull it out and then push the boat up the bank and crawl up the bank. I was wasting a lot of time there.
The Pope is just over a minute behind.
The river is, I think, more in John's favour. It's quite full, so there's less time each day. The times will be slightly faster, and which makes it more difficult for me to catch up, because he's got a lot more speed than what I've got.
At the end of the day, it's time to mend broken boats and rest tired bodies in the tranquility of the Valley of the Thousand Hills. Early the next morning, there is time only for a hasty breakfast before preparing once again to take up the challenge. The leaders set off in elapsed time from the first day. John Edmonds is first away. In previous years, Pope Ellis has done well on the second day, and today should be no exception. The confluence at the Dusi and Umgeni rivers provides more water as well as more hazards. After the confluence, the Umgeni splits up into a maze of islands. For strong runners like Edmonds and Pope Ellis, it is faster to portage. John Edmonds has increased his lead to 1.5 minutes, but one simple error could cost him that. Graham Pope Ellis knows how to pace himself for the 36 kilometres second stage, but he can't allow John Edmonds to increase his lead any further. Andre Hodder was third to start, 11 minutes off the pace. A portion of each competitor's entrance fee for the race goes to the Valley Assistance Fund. The money is used for education in the Dusi and Umgeni valleys. Here at Nomkafela, 2 classrooms are in the process of being built. Another hill to be climbed. John Edmonds chose the wrong channel just prior to the Umgeni portage, got stuck and lost most of his lead. The Umgeni portage, although steep and energy sapping, is necessary because the river winds through Mamba Gorge, which is too hazardous to negotiate. Pope Ellis passes John Edmonds at Hippo Rocks. John Edmonds has trouble getting through, and the Pope capitalizes on it and sprints away on his own.
You're right in front of me. It's when I close my eyes. I will see that I'm gonna take you wrong, back, remove control. beautiful. You got me running, running on control. Run back with no control.
Approaching the bush weir with 5 kilometers to go to the finish, Graham Popillis is assured of overnight honours.
Run back with no control.
John Edmonds has made one mistake too many, and it could cost him not only first place on the second day, but maybe the race honours as well. The gap between Popillis and Edmonds has widened to 2 minutes.
Run back with no control.
The Dusi King is still on his throne and comes into a warm welcome. John Edmonds crosses the dip tank 2 minutes and 9 seconds later. This means he gave 3 minutes to Popillis overall. A tired Andre Harden has broken away from the pack and remains in 3rd position. The rest of the field is spread out over 20 kilometers.
The world is full of strange behavior. Every man has to be his own savior. I know I can make it on my own if I try, but I'm searching for a great heart to stand me by underneath the African sky. A great heart to stand me by. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart to hold and keep me by. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart under African skies. Sometimes I feel that you really know me. Sometimes there's so much you can show me. There's a highway of stars across the heavens. There's a whispering song of the wind in the grass. There's a rolling thunder across the savannah. A hope and a dream at the edge of the sky. And your life is a story like the wind. Your life is a story like the wind. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart to hold and stand me by. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart under African skies. I'm searching for the spirit of the great heart. I see the fire in your eyes. I'm searching for the spirit.
The heat in the valley has taken its toll, and many participants are treated for dehydration and minor cuts and bruises. Cloudy skies greet the dawn for the final day, and light drizzle promises cooler weather. And with the Burma Road portage ahead of them, this is welcomed.
3, 2, 1, go.
Graham Popillis is the first to leap. He knows John Edmonds will be breathing down his neck all the way. John Edmonds sets off 2 minutes and 9 seconds later. He has to catch Popillis before Burma Road if he wants to win. After the craft within half an hour of the leaders have left, in their elapsed time, it's time for the fish and chips to get going. 20 minutes after the start, Kumalo's Causeway. John Edmonds has whittled away 30 seconds on the water. The Ananda Dam, soon to change the character of the Umgeni Valley and the Hansa Dusi. Here the paddlers are forced to take out above the construction works. John Edmonds is still 1 minute 30 seconds behind Graham Popillis, but on this short run he will make up 30 seconds. The master approaches side chute rapid. A slip here could cost him the race.
At side shoot, I'd closed up to a minute, and then I took a wrong line. I got a bit disoriented again when the water had come up, and I couldn't see the rocks. The rocks that I'd previously lined up on were all covered, and I went too far right, and I got hopelessly snarled up. So I lost about 30 seconds there as well.
Popillis has maintained his lead of 90 seconds at Umzinyati Rapid. John Edmonds is an excellent river paddler, but Popillis has 14 years more experience. At the bottom of Burma Road Portage, Graham takes a new path.
I wasted a little bit of time there, not going directly to my old path. Graham went up and my seconds ran up the path that Graham had gone, and I thought rather than risk following Graham up a path I didn't know, I'd just go the old way, even if I thought he might have a faster path, but it wasn't worth taking that risk.
Burma Road is the most notorious of the Dusi portages. Named by the veterans who pioneered the Dusi, nowhere on the river does the body take as much strain. Graham now has a lead of 2 minutes and 8 seconds. John, dragging his boat down Burma, claws back to within 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yes, actually at one stage, just after the pump house wears, I looked back and I didn't see him, and I began to slacken off a little bit. And then I got a time check that he was less than a minute behind me. I had to put my head down and really go.
After paddling 120 kilometers, less than 100 meters separates him at the end.
And he was just too fit for me. I'd come at him and I'd close it probably to about 20, and then I'd drop back to 30 and come back and drop back, and I just blowing up and getting back again and blowing up and getting back. I just couldn't close that final gap.
So with the Finnish banner in sight, that's all there is in it. Graham Popillis wins the Dusi crown for the 13th time by the slimmest of margins, only 7 seconds.
Graham Popillis is going to hang on to win it, it's going to be a mere matter of seconds. What a great place this has turned out to be. Well done, John, and well done, John Edmonds.
The final results are as follows. The winner, Graham Pope Ellis, in a time of 8 hours, 48 minutes and 27 seconds. John Edmonds was a mere 7 seconds behind him in second place in 8 hours, 48 minutes and 34 seconds, with Andre Harden third, 9 hours, 12 minutes and 14 seconds, with Bruce Wenker just 1 second behind in fourth place. Marlene Boshoff won the ladies section, establishing a time of 11 hours, 51 minutes and 50 seconds.
Go.